Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a good day today. The market finally gave me some follow through. Had two trades a day. Both trades gave me some pretty decent follow through early. Just kind of drug out later in the day. But that kind of goes to what my focus is going to be and what I said it was going to be a couple weeks ago. Now, look for a solid pre-market setup, look for the opening, and if it gives me trend continuation, we'll take it. If not, let it go. Just shut it down, and if something comes out later in the afternoon, that's fine. If not, we're done for the day. And pretty much what we did today, and it worked out great. First trade I was looking at was BBY. Now, I have to open the room up at 7:15 or so now, since I have to take my son to school, and the charts aren't populated yet. I mean, the scans aren't populated yet through trade ideas. But when I log into my Thinkorswim platform, I have a scan where it's showing me stocks that are moving pre-market already. So at 7 o'clock, I saw BBY was already had some decent volume, and it was already gapping up. And I was looking at it, and I was like, this is we've got some pretty good windows here. We had good windows to the upside, we had good windows to the downside. So I knew whichever way this thing went, we were going to have a good day, a good opportunity. So what I did was, we saw the initial pop up, and then it started selling off hard. So I kept my eye on this. I was looking for it to possibly bounce and go up because, this stock reported good earnings. But it doesn't matter what it reports. That's not important. What's important is how the market interprets it. That's what you need to trade. So I just kind of kept my eye on this. And when I realized we were just weak, I thought we were going to get a bounce here. This is when the conference call started right here at 8 o'clock. I thought we were going to get a bounce here. And, we didn't. Next candle opened below this red to green to red line here, which symbolizes yesterday's close price. So we were going red. And so I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, well, I'm going to give it a couple minutes to see if this settles. And if it does, I'll take it short. Because, I know we were 5 or 6 candles down already without any relief. But I felt we still had room to go. Because you see, we were in around 62. And you look at the daily chart, we were up here. We were below the 62.36 level. And I was like, man, this is, is awesome here. So we got a nice window down to the 60.67, which is where the 20 was this morning. Was right here. I'm going to go ahead and put it in. Um, 60, 67. And this was the 20 day. Make it blue because the 20 day is blue on my charts. The 20 moving average, or 20 period moving average, or whatever. So that was going to be my target there. So I got in at 61.90, just under 62. I was risking on this red to green here. And I had a nice window down to 60, this 60, 67 level. So what I did, I shorted here. This was going to be my first target. You know, so I nailed it. And we kind of hung around here for a minute. So I'm like, you know, let me, you know, I'm going to hang on and we'll see, you know, how far we can go. Because it looked like we were still relatively weak. Didn't look like we were going to bounce. So I held on to it. We lost this level here. And when we were putting in this candle, I felt a shift. And I looked at the 2 minute and it looked like we were getting ready to bounce here. So I went ahead and took it all off. I was going to wait to see if we got a bounce back up to this level here. And I was going to short it again. But we never did get the pullback. This thing was still weak. And then it just washed out. So I ended up missing this. And I went ahead and ended up getting short. Now, this was kind of a mistake because I thought this was the first 5 minute candle. And I don't know how I got messed up like that. But I was taking this on the 5 minute opening range breakdown. And it wasn't. This was the candle, the last candle of pre-market. But it worked out. This is actually the 5 minute low. So once we got through that, I went ahead and covered some here. And then I covered the rest here on this 50 day. Or the 90 day, I'm sorry. The 90 day moving average. This is the 90 day from the daily. The 90 period moving average from the daily. This was a 20 from the daily. So all these kind of came into play. And I thought we were going to get a bounce here for sure. This is kind of the candle I look for when we're bouncing, and we're bouncing off of a level of support. But still, no legs on this. And we started to roll over. Now, I almost got short again. But I was like, no, let me let it dip through this and then give me another candle. But I didn't take it. I was just kind of apprehensive. So I waited for it to retest the 9 here. And we got the test. And here it's set up. We rejected it. This candle opened weak. We were going lower. And then I ended up stopping out on it. Because, I had a tight stop. And I know how, based on the last couple of weeks, how this thing was set up. And then it'll turn around and run back to the 20. So if it looked like it was going to do that, I wanted to have my stop tight. So I only lost a couple bucks on this. So I waited for it to go up. And as it came back down, I went ahead and got short under the 9 again. And it went ahead and tested it. But by this point, the 20 was going to be my stop. If we lost the 20, I was going to stop out. Or if we claimed it, I was going to stop out. And, we never did claim it. So I held it through all of this. I got in this trade at let's see, 10:45. No, this is the one I stopped out. 10:45, I stopped out here. I got back in this trade at 11:23 at 55.51. I was anticipating the break of this 50 level that had been holding it up over here. I anticipated the break of it. So I got in at 55.51 and I held it all the way to just before close. This was my target, this 54.65 level. And I thought we were going to get it. But every time we got down to around 80, this thing got bought right back up. Right back up to the 20. And then we kind of gradually slowed, inched our way down. Got to 80, got bought right back up to the 20. Sold off. And we just could not get the fade. But eventually, right before close, we dipped back below the 20. And I went ahead, and the 9, I went ahead and took the rest of it off. Just a little profit. This pretty much took care of this stop out, and then, plus a couple bucks. But, all in all, this was a real nice trade. A real nice trade. So after commissions, and we'll see tonight, after everything settles, it should be around a $250 trade. And all we used was 100 shares. Solid trade here. Only using 100 shares. Now the next trade I took was HAIN. This one was a little unique as well, because this is the first 5-minute candle. Now this was on our scan as well this morning, but the price action was real iffy, and I wasn't real comfortable with it. It never had real good volume, and even here, the volume was pretty bad. But the price action kind of came together. The spreads were real bad here pre-market, at the open. Then finally the spreads came together. I usually ignore this wick whenever I have a long wick like this on the opening candle. I just go by the body. And this would have been the entry here, but I didn't get it. I was, still looking at BBY. And I didn't really get over here until we were moving under the VWAP. So this opened here. It actually started to sell off. So I got in, and then it bounced back up the VWAP, and then closed here, and then we finally made the move. Covered it at this first level here. Covered some here, covered some here. My final target was, I know you can't really see it. This is the yellow line, which is the 50 period moving average from the daily. And then there's a white line here, which is the green and red line, or yesterday's close price. So I took it off here, and I was going to look for a setup to catch it going red. But this candle, I don't like to short into support. And if I'd have shorted up here, I'd have been shorting into not only this green to red line, but the 50 period moving average from the daily. And I didn't want to do that. So I was going to wait for it to get below and establish below. But this candle washed out a little bit too much. So I just waited to see if we were going to get a retest of this. And we did. Ended up getting short, covering some here. Covering some here halfway between the final target, which was 39. And I couldn't get 39 here. So when it bounced and it started to go back, I went ahead and took it off. And I was done with this. And you can see, here is setting up for potential trend continuation. But we've got the support here. All of this once everything comes together, a lot of times it just kind of trades sideways. And that's what it did. It just traded sideways the rest of the day. So I never took any more trades on it. But let me show you what I kind of saw the same thing on BBY, these big windows. I saw these kind of the same thing on HAIN. Blow it up here. I saw these huge windows, which would be tremendous profit potential for, trading small size. And, this is what I look for. These are the stocks that I really like. They're not small cap stocks. They're mid cap. They have huge move potential. And you don't have to overexpose yourself to trade and to make decent money. And this is what I like. I trade small because I like to trade small. Now, swing trades, sometimes I swing for the fences on those. Those, I like trading those with decent size. But day trading, this is what I like. I tried it when I got my Speed Trader account and had it loaded. I traded it for 2 months and lost money and lost $1,800. So I knew that this is not, that wasn't me. That my identity and what I'm comfortable with is trading, smaller size. No more than 1,000 to 1,500 shares on the lower price stocks. But ideally, I like to trade 300 to 500 shares. And you can make money on it when you find the right stocks. And when the market is working, you find the right stocks, you can clean up. And it's less stress. These were no stress trades today. So hopefully this symbolizes or signifies that the market may be trying to change. The last time I thought that, it went right back to being bad again. So I'm not going to go all out. I'm going to still stay a little conservative until we get some consistency in the market. And then, we'll look to see what's going on. But that was my day today. We're looking for another good day tomorrow. And going into this week, I want to celebrate with a decent end to this month, going into this long weekend. So we'll see if the market gives it to us. So all right, guys, so take it easy, and I will see you tomorrow morning.